to episode 6 of the Kicking Off Football podcast. God, 5 weeks been doing this already, Ben. Can you believe it?
I know, mate. It's flying, isn't it?
Yeah. What, just talking rubbish about football? Brilliant.
It's never ended.
I'm Blair. I'm the host. I'm joined by my former boss, now current co-host, Ben Ballantyne. Right, Ben?
Yeah, I'm really good. Thanks, mate. Are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. And I'm joined by a semi-decent dart player, Ross the Toss.
Hello.
How's it going, Ross?
It's going all right. We beat a team that haven't lost a game all season on Thursday. It was a...
Oh, I thought you meant Leeds then.
Yeah. Unbeaten this season's league at the start.
Unbeaten. You won a game of darts. Is that what you're saying?
Hey, it was a big result for the lads. We're 2 points off top at table now.
Oh my God!
Yeah, could be in Division 1 next season.
I can guarantee we won't be saying that this year, will we, Blair?
By name. Right, I'm going to have to start off with some bit of sad news. I don't know if I made this up, but I'm sure Carlos Carvajal, my hero, he said football is the most important thing of the unimportant things. And when Diogo Jota died this week, he always sort of puts it in perspective, because people die all the time, especially if you look at Ross's Instagram page, it's just actors in the late 60s and 70s who have died, who he pays his respects to. But when someone dies and he's younger than me and you, Ben, he's same age as you, Ross, it kind of
2 days younger, exactly 2 days younger.
Well, exactly. It's younger than you, exactly.
Yeah.
It's sort of it really does just. You have that moment of reflection, shit. It could just end at any time, and you just take it for granted. I don't know. Well, I had that moment on Saturday anyway. I mean, when was it? Wednesday, not Saturday. I don't know what you felt. Did you either you ever any sort of a moment like that?
I think it's just
harder. All yours, mate.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying. I think it's harder to take, isn't it, when you listen to these stories and being fathers ourselves, Blair. It's when he's got 2 young kids and he's just been married with his wife. It's
3,
them that. Is it 3? Sorry. Yeah. It's them that you really think about, don't you? Because it's going to really struggle through this period.
Yeah, on the tribute video, I thought, this is a really good video. Liverpool did, and then at the end of the video, it's that little bit at the end of the season when they get on the pitch with the kids, and he was having a kickabout with one of his lads, and I just completely went. I was just like, right, that's it, that's me done for Dave. Messing with boss, saying if I'm a bit bummed out today, it's because I've just seen this video online. Yeah, it proper upset me, and like I said, it just puts it in perspective sometimes. You get upset sometimes at work, and you get really upset, aggravated by something at work, and you think, what? There's no point. It's just work. Don't worry about it too much. Anyway, now we've established that football isn't important, but it is important. We're gonna have to get into the football now. Unless you have anything else to say. Oh, I'll tell you what. I did watch Jota's his goals again for Liverpool. Just his goals he scored for Liverpool. I can't believe he's played for Liverpool more than Wolves.
I know. Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought the same thing when I looked at that.
Yeah. I watched his goals back, and God, he could do it all. And I'll tell you something, he had one of the best jumps and one of the best headers in the Premier League, I think.
He weren't the tallest,
tall
was he?
either.
No, he weren't the tallest.
He seemed to score headers all the time, didn't he? And his last ever goal was at Anfield against Everton. Now we don't support Liverpool, but you couldn't ask for a more a weirdly poetic end if that's going to be your last goal ever. The one you score against your rival at home, and it pretty much clinching the title as well, didn't it? So crazy how it works, how the world works sometimes. Right, so let's move on.
Absolutely tore Leeds and Arsenal twice.
The Club World Cup, something. Did they? I think he destroyed the championship. Was he on loan from Porto or was Atletico when they got him on? Championship.
It was Porto, yeah. He never played for Atletico. He scored. I think he scored at Ellen Road, and he got an assist at Molineux. Battered us both games. But that was a ridiculous Wolves team. That in Championship.
Oh, I know. Ruben Neves in the Championship. Oh my God. Right, so we go from something really sad to something a bit horrible, which is the Club World Cup. It's FIFA money grab, horrible FIFA, and all the money grabbing and the sports washing. But the football has been quite enjoyable, regardless of what people might think of the tournament. We're in the semi-finals already. Semi-finals are coming now. I can't believe it. How quick it's gone, Ben. Did you watch any of the quarterfinals at all?
Yeah, I watched PSG. That was
PSG Bayern, wasn't it?
Crazy game.
Yeah, PSG ended up in 9 men, didn't they?
It ended up with 9 men. Didn't I say to you as well that because it's the English officials, there'll be nothing but controversy in this game?
Yeah.
And obviously they can't have much impact in terms of the, like the red cards and stuff. They just got to do that as they see it. But did you see the penalty decision that he gave? That got overturned. It's literally like the ball's deflected around the box, and I think it's Nuno Mendes puts his foot up high, but the striker's coming in towards it, and he's also put his head in. He kicks the ball onto the striker's head, and then it just gets cleared away off the line. Anthony Taylor just blows up and gives a penalty. I don't think anyone but him thought it was a penalty.
Well, get used to that next season, Ross.
I can't wait.
Another game. It's another big game. Thomas Muller took the mick out of Harry Kane as well, but it's another big game where Harry Kane, you can argue, weren't doing much again. But was he just constantly dropping deep again, like he does for England when the game's going against him? We saw it for Tottenham as well.
Frustrating the hell out of me. You're thinking Bayern have got all of these players, such good players. Why does Harry Kane need to drop into centre midfield? What's he doing other than just suffocating their space to do anything? Because he's stood in it, and obviously he's never been blessed with pace. He's not completely slow, but he's not quick, and he can play that lovely ball over the top, and he did do it a few times. But you're just thinking what they're doing now? He's just gonna have to put his foot on it and pass it back.
Yeah,
you can't go forward because Harry Kane's not in the box, and it was his fault for the goal they conceded, the first one, because he got caught holding on to it too long in centre midfield, and they picked it off him and countered him and scored, which Upamecano looked like he was going absolutely off his head at him.
Well, we've seen it time and time again with him, though, haven't we? Especially in an England shirt and even in the Tottenham shirt. Just when the game's going against him, I think he just can't help himself. Just to drop. Yeah. It's almost like he doesn't trust the rest of his teammates.
No, the thing is, he is pretty good at it, isn't he? His passing ability is really good.
Yeah.
But the problem is, what's it coming to when you ping a lovely ball over the top and you just have to retain possession and start again, basically, because you can't play forward.
You got to wait for him to get up.
Yeah, exactly.
Ross, I was looking at the bracket and looking at the Chelsea's way into the semi-final. They lost that game against Flamenco in the group stages. For some reason, I've just got this theory now, but Maresca's looked at that game against Flamenco and went, you know what, finishing second in this group would probably work out better. So I feel like he might have told his team to maybe not try as hard in that Flamenco game, because Flamenco got Bayern Munich and they got who did they have in the round of 16?
Palmeiras, was it?
No, they beat him. That was the quarters. Who did they beat in the
Benfica?
Oh, Benfica.
It was Benfica, yeah. So
I got something right about the Club World Cup. Get it. When you said my name and started talking about the Club World Cup, I was like, oh God.
Panicking, yeah.
Chelsea played in blue in one of the games.
I don't know. Do you think a manager would ever look at that in a tournament and think, finish second in this group? He's actually probably better off than finishing top of it. Do you think?
Do they? Yes. Will they ever admit it? Definitely not.
Who was it? Who was the teams? And they were like, I want to say it was in like League One or Championship or something, and they both needed a draw to like stay up. And like the last half an hour, when they realised that like the last half an hour of the game was just passing ball around, one team was just pass the ball around at the back for 20 minutes. It's like, we're all right, lads. We don't need to run around. It was a few years ago now, but I can't remember who it was. So let's just knock it about here, lads. We don't need to do anything silly. If it works for you, you may as well, innit? Like you say, they ain't going to admit it, but
I'm convinced it is, because their route is so much easier. But if they won the group, they would have had Bayern Munich and PSG. If they got beat and beat Bayern, they would have got PSG. Whereas finishing second, they've had Benfica and Palmeiras.
he's a genius.
Crazy. He is a tactical mastermind, this Maresca. It's the second coming of someone.
Talking about the crazy Chelseaness, I said to you, Arsenal will not sign a top player playing on that left-hand side. It's just going to get Noni Madueke on a cheaper deal.
I know we'll get into that in a bit, because I just want to quickly just move on to the Dortmund Real Madrid game, which I'm a bit upset about, because I did have Dortmund in a sweepstake, and my German boys, well, they can get in the bin now. I mean, Real Madrid have pulled this youngster out of it. None of us had heard of him before this tournament. Gonzalo Garcia, 20 years old, starting down the middle. I think he's definitely scored in every round. I'm pretty certain of that. He might even be the top goal scorer of the tournament, Ross. And Mbappe's going to have his work cut out from him now. But this guy's just coming down the middle. He seems to be a more natural centre forward as well.
Well, I mean, a young, hungry, wants to prove himself striker. That's dangerous for any superstar who thinks they've made it on name alone, because he does come across Mbappe. I mean, obviously, he's bloody class. I ain't splitting hairs about that. But you get the feeling sometimes with him that he thinks he's
a better Andros Townsend to me.
yeah, he's Mbappe never
cuts inside and shoots off at bar. That's every time I watch him, and then every time I don't watch him, he scores that trick.
Mbappe never had a terrible loan spell at Leeds, I'll tell you that much. But I'm sure he'd hate Yorkshire just as much as Andros did if he ever made the trip over. Get me out of here.
Another Garcia scored. Was it Fran
Yeah,
Garcia?
apparently he looks shit hot.
He's the left back, isn't he?
Yeah, but he
finished that. He finished that second one like a striker, better than any player in the Championship. Let's put it that way. Oh, it just reminds me of these big clubs how they just have a conveyor belt of just unbelievable talent always.
Well, they know when to get which ones to keep and know which ones to get rid of. Who was that one that signed for Sheffield Wednesday from? Didn't he score on his debut?
Rodri,
yeah.
From Barcelona B.
Yeah. All right, well, fuck him off to Sheffield, mate. Don't matter.
Scored on his debut, did 4 backflips before, here we go, we're going to win the league here. We've got a Barcelona striker, we couldn't believe it. And, he just shat the bed after that. I mean, you could say that about a lot of Wednesday people who play his careers, but I asked Chris Kirkland about him once on a podcast. He wouldn't tell me anything about him, which wound me up. BB, who do you think's going to win it then? It's between Dortmund and Madrid, isn't it, you think?
PSG.
Yeah, sorry, PSG.
Yeah, I knew
God,
you
you
meant.
really are holding on to that sweepstake, aren't you?
Yeah. Are they out?
PSG, mate.
Yeah.
I just think they're so good.
That's going to be some fixture, though, isn't it? Xabi Alonso's Madrid versus PSG. One thing about PSG I feel sorry about, this is their first Club World Cup, and they've had to do it the long way to win it. Everyone else has got the easy one, 4 teams, we'll breeze past these.
A Japanese team, an Australian team, and
I think an English team wins it pretty much every time they're playing it, don't they?
Oh, it's a European team.
Yeah, the European team. And PSG, I mean, I'm not going to say bless them with all the money they've got and their ownership and stuff. But the fact that they've had to, go do a full 32 proper tournament to win it. I mean, if they win it, fair play to them. They've earned it. I'll tell you something. In that, just before we leave the World Cup, there was a moment in that Dortmund Madrid game which made me really like reminding me again why we love this sport. Real Madrid are 3-1 up within the 90 minutes. From the kick-off, Dortmund have gone up and got a penalty. The commentators, probably a bit Real Madrid biased. For me, it was a definite pen. Pulls him back in the box.
Yeah.
Is it Gahesi? Is that how you pronounce his name? Bloody hell, you right. He smashed that hard.
Garassi.
Garassi, he absolutely belted that lever off that ball. Like, if Courtois can't get near it, then it's a good strike.
Did you see what he did with his last penalty though?
No.
He just ran up to it and Penenke'd it straight down middle.
Right.
That's what he did. So that's probably why this time he decided that he'd try and catch Courtois out and just absolutely smash it as hard as he could.
Right. And then in the 100th minute, bear in mind Real Madrid have been absolutely dominant in this game from start to finish. In literally the dying seconds, Courtois has pulled off an absolute world-class save. And you think, you pan to the Dortmund fans, and you're just like, oh my! And all the heads are in the hands because they've gone through all this emotion in 3 minutes. And that's the reason why we love this sport, isn't it? Because just when you think it is over, it's not over, is it?
Don't say it.
I'm not saying
it.
Close. I'll say that when a club folds it later on this season. I'll say. Right, we'll leave it there. I think we all agree. I agree. I think it's going to be a PSG Chelsea final, and Chelsea have pocketed basically the João Pedro and Liam Delap have been free signings just by getting to that final.
I just think PSG's squad's far too strong, even though they're going to have to. They've got the 2 red cards now.
We're going to hear some stuff about. I've already seen it about Musiala. He got injured, didn't he? He broke his ankle.
He got injured.
My God, we won't be playing for a while.
It could be a career ruiner. It could be the end of him properly. You might not see him back to where he is now. And people slagging it off, going, he's done that in a pre-season tournament. People describing it as, but that could have happened in any game. It's not just because it's
but he could have done it in Singapore.
Yeah.
When like
in the Audi Cup.
Yeah, Audi Cup. Big tournament that, mate. Don't let Tottenham fans tell you otherwise. Yeah, it's that's the thing, isn't it? You'll have fans criticising it, saying like, oh, it's a pre-season tournament, but it's also an official tournament worth millions and millions of pounds.
Yeah.
Euros, whatever you want to call it, dollars.
The prize money. I think the prize money is more than the Champions League, isn't it? If you win it.
Yeah, but we said it before, haven't we? The clubs don't care, do they? Because soon as money is involved, they'll fly anywhere to play football.
Like I say, they want to expand it to 48 teams. The next one, because Barca, Liverpool, Arsenal, the rest of them, they're all moaning.
But these same managers that do the moaning are the same managers who don't rest the players, no matter what tournament they're playing.
We've got too many games. Too many games.
Tell you what's that League Cup? It's that League Cup. Get rid of that League Cup.
Get it up, Tamworth.
Get rid of them FA Cup replays. We don't need them. Right, anyway, let's move on to some
more depressing news.
Some surprising news this week came out, BB. You went to just tell me how you were feeling after you went to the Q&A on Monday. You got a ticket to the Q&A with the chairman on Monday?
Yeah, so I went to the Q&A, got to hear it live and direct.
This is the whole city for the listener.
Yeah, Hull City Q&A, and Ajahn Jali stood there and categorically said there are no financial issues whatsoever. All the money owed to the club, that the club owes, is owed to me. And if should I ever need to sell this football club, I were writing it off anyway. We don't owe anything.
Left it, and then he had a smug grin on his face because someone said, Louis
Me
Barry's
too.
been announced or something.
Yeah, so someone said, it's been announced online that Louis Barry has signed for Hull City. He looked over to get the confirmation from director of football to give him the nod that he could say it. To which the reply and the bit of the joke of the night is whoever we're linked with, it's a secret.
Yeah.
But he pretty much announced it. He said Louis Barry wants to come to Hull City. We've had a real good experience with him and he's enjoyed it here in the time, so it all makes sense. Honestly, I don't think, obviously there will have been one or two, as usual, that still won't like Adrian, but everything he said gave a massive positive buzz about the place. He was promised to buy two good strikers, he said.
All right.
And so on. It was full of promises and lots and lots of
Did
positivity.
he say something about he's not going to loan many players this season because he just wants to buy players as well? Didn't he say that?
Yeah. Turns out that might be taken out of his hands, mate. So I'm not sure how anybody.
Can't write. I
has
can't
got.
write.
I can't understand how anybody's got that size bollocks to stand in front of a lot
All
of
your
your fan
supporters.
base, right? Get them applauding you, pretty much giving him a standing ovation as he walks off because of everything he said and his promises and nothing but good news, really. To, literally 24 hours later or whatever, we find out we're under a transfer embargo because he's not only not been paid, he hasn't paid his £1 million to Aston Villa for Louis Barry, he also hasn't been paying other bills, which we don't know. All we know that's been stated is he hasn't paid local suppliers and other international suppliers that supply to Hull City. So he hasn't been paying them either. But there's no cash flow issues, according to Adrian. It's absolutely fine, mate. It is. So the embargo's already been lifted, but
Yeah.
and a lot of people keep reminding you of that on Twitter. But it doesn't make too much of a difference because the only thing that is the difference is we can still register players, but it's still only free signings and loan signings without a fee involved, and that lasts until 2027 unless they win the appeal. Which apparently he was adamant we didn't have any cash. He was adamant we didn't have any cash flow problems. Yeah.
I did not see it coming. Just came out of the blue. Because I think was it Thursday it sort of broke, didn't it? The news Thursday.
Yeah.
I read a story Thursday, but they've just agreed like a €9 million deal for a Croatian striker.
Yeah.
So I was like,
yeah. Well, it was reported that it was a €7 million fee initially, and then now it's coming out of Croatia, whether this is true or not, that it's a 18-month loan deal with obviously no fee involved, and now €9 million at the end of it. Obligation to buy at the end of it, which I guess is outside of the window.
It's a loophole. It is a loophole.
Regardless, I can't see it being that much money.
Would you imagine if he signed and broke his leg or something, and then you've got to pay £9 million at the end of it?
Well, you could loan Louis Barry and pay £1 million and him play 4 games, mate. We've had 3 ACLs in a season, which is just unheard of at one football club, let alone in a league in a season.
Then you lost a behind closed doors game, didn't you, as well? So that's
some big side from Lincoln, mate, turned us over 2-0.
Hey, he's a mastermind, their manager. He managed 3 games, caretaker, Leeds United, Scoobs, Scooby Dooby Doo. He's a legend, mate.
I thought it was a Dave Ockaday.
Ah, good lord.
Tactical genius, that man.
He's fucking bin man now or something. No, he's like, I think last I heard it's believable. Last I heard he was like head of sport at Loughborough University. Something like
Mad, isn't it? Mad. I
I
think,
mean,
I,
Robbie Blake was head of spot at Northumbria for a bit.
I bet you can't believe. I still have. I mean, this has gone way off subject, but when Dave Ockenay got that appointment at Leeds, he had the best song by any manager. That is fact. No song will beat Dave
Monday,
Ockenay's song.
Tuesday, Hocker Day. So speaking of just a fucking mental case chairman, what good old Massimo was saying about him is like sometimes a manager is like a watermelon. You've got to crack it open and see what's inside before you can realise this is a good watermelon.
Certainly
Get
like
Dave in. We're getting
like
Dave
when we
in.
got Tim Volter in, and they're like, "Oh, no one plays football the way I do." Yeah, there's a fucking reason for that, mate.
Imagine saying that quote. Imagine saying something like that and then being shit.
Yeah, he said a lot of quotes, didn't he? Well, we keep conceding goals from corners. Well, don't give the ball away.
Yeah.
You know, from a corner, why are we sending every single player up? It was like literally they headed it out. They had a 1-on-1 with our goalie. I think the only positive, Blair, is they've brought in Sergei Yakirovic from Kayesaspor, and he's just spent a good 6 months there with a team that he could make no signings with. So maybe Adjum did know. He thought, bloody hell, this manager can do it with under.
God, he's good. This Adjin. He knows what he's doing. I'll give him that.
Well, it's not an embargo, Blair.
Oh, sorry.
Transfer restriction.
Transfer restriction.
You'll have people in the comments reminding you. but they
has it completely flattened the fan base though? So
yes.
I think the optimism is just gone now, is it?
Yeah. As you can imagine, Hull City's fan base doesn't have the best of trust in anyone with the amount of shit owners we've had. So they don't trust it anyway. And you know, when someone sells you the dream at a Q&A on Monday, and by Thursday you're under transfer embargo, you understand why they might be a bit sceptical.
And football fans are always rational as well, aren't they? That's right.
But I'll tell you what, we win first game of season, mate, he'll be an absolute hero.
Yeah.
You know how fickle football is. But they have announced today, apparently, they've got another sponsor.
Oh.
So,
Is it Wongadop?
No, it's another Turkish firm.
Oh, okay.
Seriport or something. I think they sponsored like us before and then maybe stopped and then are doing it again. I don't know, but they're putting some money into is it like the back of the shirts or something, and sponsoring the youth teams as well.
Right, okay.
So that I don't know how true that is. I've just read it today that apparently that's coming. But according to what I've also read is that they have paid Aston Villa. They paid them the money. They've sent all of the paperwork over to the EFL that they've requested to prove that they've got funds, etc. But according to what I've also read, Adjan seemed to think that the reason why the £1 million wasn't paid to Aston Villa was because they had, let's say, what's the word in? Like they had like a balance.
They owed you money.
Because I think they owe us money from Philogene that they're paying over time. So I think he just felt, I don't know this for gospel, it's just what I've read. He felt that, you kind of owe us money. So
phone up and say, tell you what, that instalment you owe me next week, don't pay it.
Yeah. but
not just assume. But what I don't understand about this is, but Villa have obviously grassed up Hull for not paying the loan fee for Louis Barry in January. But then they agreed to sell him to you permanently this week. So it's like, hang on, why would you agree to sell someone a player who they haven't paid you already? And
this is why I'm very sceptical over the club saying when they found out they were going to be put under a transfer embargo.
Yeah.
Because they haven't pulled out of that Barry deal because they couldn't negotiate a deal, have they? They pulled out of that Barry deal because they knew this was coming. They were not going to be able to register him. Nothing happens within days of each other the way it has done if people don't know it's going to happen and a deal just falls through because of wages or something that they're coming out and saying it is. Now he's off to Is it Derby?
God, they're hoovering up players, them, aren't they?
Yeah.
Might be quite good next season, Derby, which I'm a bit upset about, to be honest.
I reckon there will be because I think
Eustace.
Eustace is bloody good. He's mint.
Well, it's depressing,
Yeah.
isn't it? All we're doing is seeing them. Wrexham agreed a deal with Louis O'Brien today. Lewis O'Brien.
Is it?
£5 million.
Right. Is he the Nottingham Forest lad?
Yeah.
He's the other
Bielsa
one.
loved him.
Hull will
Bielsa
try.
gasping for him.
Right. Well, if Bielsa wants him, then he's good.
Yeah, he can run. He can bloody run around.
Yeah, he's got a right engine on him. He's a good player. I don't think he's had the best of last two loan spells. Was it Middlesbrough
DC,
went to?
didn't he?
I don't think he did much there. And yeah, he went somewhere in America, and then
I think it was DC.
And then he had a reasonable time at Swansea. He's still a very good player. I'd have taken him at Hull. They were trying to get him in.
Yeah, and obviously Birmingham are just gonna top two challenge. Like said, Damari Gray, you having a laugh?
I know.
Tommy Doyle.
Damari Gray.
In the Championship.
Yeah, I know, but he couldn't score in bloody Saudi. Gianni Alioski scored in Saudi.
Dan James looked like bloody McManaman running down that right wing at Championship, mate. He'll look like an absolute.
It was
bag of
Farker's
shit
management.
in Premier League.
Yeah.
Farker's management. I think it's called having a winger called Manor Solomon.
He was all right.
He was all right.
Farker's management and 700 grand a week wage bill. Like, it just goes together.
Yeah, I'd fancy me chances with that.
I mean, the striker Birmingham signed this week, the Japanese fella.
Yeah,
Kyogo.
I know it's Scotland, and he was very good for Celtic.
Said that about Henrik Buddy Larson.
Well, he was good.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. He played for Barcelona.
I'll tell you who didn't score. Who didn't score goals in Scotland? Timu Pukki.
Oh,
correct.
Came to Championship.
Rips it up.
Bagsman.
Are we the farmers?
Is
that what you're saying? Right, we'll move on to Leeds' transfer business in a bit, Ross.
Mate.
What, you mean Sunderland's?
Yeah.
Ross is going to punch a Macca after this.
Sorry, wait, we can't really make jokes about transfer business. Can't bloody make any.
Right, we'll move on to Sheffield Wednesday. The annoying thing is, I left the Sheffield Wednesday podcast because I got fed up of talking about them all the time, because it gets a bit boring. And now I can't help but talk about them because I didn't foresee this anyway. So every week it's just progressing, and I don't know about you two. I'd love to hear your opinion, but I just think it's going to fold. I really do. I do think we're going to be the martyr, the catalyst for change for English football, because they always talk about a regulator and they need rules and stuff all the time, but it never comes. It never changes. But I think once in quotes, a giant folds, like a proper staple of English football, I think it might actually kick up the arse to actually do something about it.
Well, do you not think that they need to be monitoring clubs, don't they? Like during the season. I don't think that they can't keep going on with this as last year's books. Because it's far too late, isn't it? By the time the AFL have got any sort of grasp of it, what good can it be if the AFL are only interested to implement restrictions and point deductions?
Yeah, I can't even see us starting the season. Right, so I'll just list the things. So let's just say you've got, I don't know, £150 million in your pocket, and you want to buy a football club in the Championship. And you're in the car lot, you're in the sale lot, and you see this club here, this nice big one here, and you go, why is that one up for sale? And then they go, well, I'll tell you why it's up for sale. All the players haven't been paid for 2 months. All the staff's not been paid for 2 months. The training ground's not finished. All the coaching staff are out of contract, so they've all not. They've not. There's no coaching staff. The manager's not turned back up for work. We're under 3 different embargoes because we owe the taxman money. We owe transfer fees to. We owe a transfer fee to Norwich for backing Firmino. He signed 3 years ago, that lad. So it can't even be that much. It must be like, we're talking grands, probably like 10 grand. We signed him for 50 grand, so whatever we owe Norwich can't be that much. And they still owe money for Shea Charles, who we had on loan last season. So they can't sign players. Players have handed a notice in. So if you did want to take hold of it, and the North Stand needs a lot of work doing, or it's not going to get his safety certificate. And I've heard something else today, but apparently there's a loan what needs to be paid on the ground by the end of September, which is about £7 million. And if they don't pay this loan, the keys can be taken off Chancery. So it's literally like it's on its last legs. He wants 60 million quid for it. The ground's all owned by him, but it's owned by a different company. It's owned by S3 Holdings. So you've got to make a deal for the club and then another deal for the ground, because the ground is owned by him but under a different company name, and it pays rent to him through with the club, which is just crazy. So I heard something on the Football Weekly podcast. A journalist who got a lot more contacts than we have. They basically said if administration gets brought in by HMRC, they can sell the club, but they can't really touch the ground because the ground's owned by a different company. It's not owned by the club, the ground. So if let's just say you have that £150 million in your pocket, why would you not buy back Preston? Or because you don't need to be a big club anymore. I'm not being disrespectful to Preston. I'm just using them as an example, because once you get in the Premier League and stay in it, it doesn't matter how big you are. Bournemouth have a stadium which is smaller than Rotherham United, and they're doing a pretty all right job in the Premier League, aren't they?
Absolutely.
So you don't need to be big anymore to get into it and to stay into it. So I don't know what you two think, but I think it's fucked.
Well,
I've not even got any pre-season friendlies.
What's the story of the potential?
Well, it came out yesterday. A bit of good news,
sale,
but Chancery's now finally agreed to sign an NDA with a company which is known for selling football clubs. So he's gone to get outside help to try and help him find a buyer.
I was going to say he doesn't own this company as well, does he?
No. That's just a massive, it's like a snake in its tail that keeps owing each other's money.
Your stand is called the Chancery stand. He does sponsor the shirt. What else does he separately set up? Didn't he set up a taxi business or something just to put more money in?
3 taxis with 1 taxi, never driven. Just so he could
funnel some money into the club.
Yeah. It's mad. We've not released a shirt yet. We've got no pre-season friendlies. We've got.
There's no point releasing a shirt if you haven't got a plate to put them in.
As it stands, we've got 16 professional players. Senior.
How many
players,
have handed the notice in now?
5 to 6, maybe more. Barry Bannon's a free agent. Yeah, I mean, he'll be wearing a Wrexham shirt by end of next month. Let's be right.
They're training at a leisure centre.
And then I've still got people arguing with me, saying that I'm too negative and the club's too big. Someone will come and buy us. I'm like, who's going to buy that? Who in the right mind will buy that? Because you'd have to have 150 million quid ready just to set on fire. And that's to get a team which might be able to just stay up in the Championship. Never mind a team which is going to actually compete in the Championship.
Well, whether it's true or not, I'm not sure, but I did read that regardless of who their owner is, and I was reading this on behalf of a question asked from a Hull City fan, if a transfer embargo is placed on the club, it doesn't matter who the owner is, that will be there. So if you don't win your appeal...
Yeah, but I think part of our appeal is we're going to try and sell it.
Yeah.
So I think part of the appeal will be if you sell it, it's lifted because it's not, you're gone, the problem's gone, so we can let someone else have a go.
Yeah, you would hope it works.
No one else is going to buy it if the transfer ban is in place for 3 seasons. Literally, no one will buy it. Then 100% it will fold, won't it? So.
Well, the thing is
how if it doesn't pay the wages this month for the players and non-playing staff, who's even going to open the ground? on the first game of the season, first home game of the season. The stewards aren't going to turn up for no money. You got to pay the police.
Yeah, they're definitely not turning up on a
Still
backhand.
owns the tax man. It's come out today, but he's trying to get rid of Gassama now because he needs money to pay the tax man. Because he's shitting himself. Because if he don't pay the tax man, then the sale's out of his hands because they can score.
Right, administrators
we'll bring him in, and that's it. But that still doesn't help because the administrators might not be able to find a buyer because they've got to then agree maybe rent the ground off him.
How long's Gassama got left on his contract?
Yeah.
Right, that's why I'm reading 2.5 million quid then, because that is disgusting if that's what you're selling him for. Wow.
Especially in a day when you're like, what? Bang average players go for 8 million quid now, don't they? It's right in the Championship.
Yeah.
I can't see a way out, Ross. What do you think? It's fucked, isn't it?
I think it's depressing. I think I'd if it did all have to shut the doors, I think I'd probably shed a tear because it's a stalwart of English football. It's a proper big Yorkshire club.
Well, at least Leeds can definitely say they are the biggest club in Yorkshire. Then
that wasn't even in the topic of conversation, but fine if it makes you feel better. But all I'm seeing is just bad news. Just every time anything to do with Sheffield Wednesday, it's this is some more shit coming out. And then you go to bed and you wake up the next day and there's some more shit out.
I don't know how these people can be positive though, can they? You're being over dramatic and stuff like that.
Well, that's what I was leading to there. Is just like referring to your club, and yes, Sheffield Wednesday are an absolute massive club with a huge following. And are Sheffield Wednesday an attractive proposition? Yes. Are they an attractive proposition when the stadium's on its ass, the training ground isn't finished? Like you say, how much money are they going to have to put into the club to just break even?
Well, yeah, just to keep it, just to get it.
Well, sorry, break even is not the right phrase. To get operational. To get operational, they're going to be losing an awful lot of money. And
whereas you might as well just go and buy like I said, Preston or Bristol City. People who always just say they're just like Championship mainstays.
Yeah.
You might as well go buy one of them and just save yourself all the hassle. If you've got that amount of money,
because
you've got to set on fire.
You've got to rely on the fact that they're going to go, right, we value Sheffield Wednesday at whatever we value it at. Let's say 40 million quid. Right, at its
40
best.
million seems to be the most realistic, but he wants at least 60.
Yeah, and if I was buying Sheffield Wednesday, part of my thing will be, here's your 40 million, I'll pay all your fucking bills and then we'll buy your football club. Because I wouldn't be buying the football club and paying his tax bill and everything else it owns.
Wiping his ass for him.
They can't. Surely, they're not. He's going to have to wipe off his debt completely.
Oh yeah, the debt owed to him will have to be wiped off.
But it depends on what he's going to be like, because he could have Sheffield Wednesday over a barrel because he owns the ground, and he could just sell him the club and charge you extortionate rent.
That's it. It's.
I'm not saying he will, but he could.
Oh yeah, I think he will if administration comes in against his will. I think
like you said,
will do that.
These staff members that are running Sheffield Wednesday are normal working class people that are not getting paid.
I can't believe they're still turning up.
Why on earth, come the beginning of the season, are all them stewards going to work for free?
Yeah.
If it's in its current state, or are they?
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know the state of the shop, the and stuff. Has it been cleaned? Is it like gathering dust? You know what I mean? You don't know anything, do we? Like, is the warehouse is any workers even turning up? We don't know.
Is groundsman working? Because he won't be getting paid, will he? He's probably just shammed it off.
He's probably laid the pitch and just sod it. I'll just let it grow. I won't cover it up with all this rain we've had today and stuff like that. So
presumably, when you are in these positions, these sort of negotiations to sell a football club are expedited. There must be, because it's going to have to go through bloody quickly, isn't it? What have you got? 3 weeks? essentially.
Well, a year ago today, I was at Alpherton. Wednesday, handful of new signings played. I think we had 5 new players already, roughly right through the door. There was a big air of optimism. We've got this manager everyone loves. And we love him. Absolutely love him. On my wedding night, we all sang his name at the end, didn't we? We were all pissed up. Like, absolutely love him. And then a year later, it is.
I'll tell you what, though, I would find it extremely difficult, no matter how much I loved a manager, to be the only man, if I understand it correctly, that is getting paid at that football club.
Not turn up to work.
And he's the one not turning up to work when you are loved by all those fans. And I know he's probably trying to get his way out of Sheffield Wednesday. But the one smart thing Chansiri did was give him a good compensation package to get him out, and it's another good compensation
to him clearly because he's obviously promised him there's a lot more stuff than what he's got.
Yeah. And there's a big compensation package for his staff that he'll clearly want to take with him, and that's why Danny Rowe will be struggling.
For all out of contract now, it's just him.
Right, so it's just him. So you're talking like £5 million or whatever to get Danny Rowe out, and other teams will choose their options because it is a lot of money for a manager,
especially in the Championship.
So I would be fuming if he were turning up to work when he's the only one getting paid, whether he wants to be there or not.
It's absolutely. I really can't see. I don't know the start of the season. I don't know the start the first game of the season. I really don't.
The only hope that you can really look at is Blackpool did it. Because it looked like Blackpool weren't going to be able to field a bloody starting 11 fortnight before the season started, and they somehow managed to wrangle that together. And bloody hell, they even got Jordan Rhodes scoring goals for a bit. So there is a modicum of hope there, but Christ, like you said, Ben, someone needs to pull their finger out their arse soon.
I've not seen it. Maybe I've just not paid attention closely enough to other clubs when they're going through shit. But that list I started off this conversation with, I can't remember a club having that much stuff against it going badly at once.
Well, this is what I mean about all of the so-called restrictions that are in place on clubs spending money now. Well, it doesn't look like it does much good, does it? Because you can just run them into ground.
Yeah. Well,
but I'll tell you what, mate, if Danny Rowe leaves, get yourself Harry Redknapp in, because he really can make some out of nothing.
Benjani on a free, £7,000 a week.
He'll be on Fontanico Cranshaw, mate.
Get the band back together.
Cratchy, £7,000 a week, son.
Easy money for you, Crat. Don't worry, I'll put a £70,000 goal bonus in or something like that.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll get some money in through his dog's Icelandic bank account or whatever it had.
So maybe I'm being too depressing, but I do think maybe I'm being over dramatic. I don't think I am. I think it is finished, unfortunately. I mean, it's really, really sad. And I think when it happens, it's going to be it's going to ripple effect through English football if it happens. Right then, Ross, let's talk about Sunderland then. They seem to keep just nicking all your signings. Are you as positive now than you were 2 weeks ago when you thought Leeds are kicking in now and they're making signings?
It's... The thing about it is, I like the way...
Yeah, he's not that good, that Diarra, mate. Don't worry
about it. No.
I said, he scored against Buddy England. They're nothing special, are they? But so that's 2 signings now that they've made. That at the start of the window, it was Leeds are going in for these guys, and the rumoured fees were there, and it's basically they've stuck 8 million on and gone to Sunderland. That's fine. I won't lose any sleep over it. But I'd like the way that the 49ers do. I do like the way the 49ers do their business, because obviously we've made 3 signings. Bijol was talked about loads, and it was a bit borderline becoming a saga before he finally got announced proper. But the other 2 signings we've made, who I feel like we've only signed him because Joshua Guilavogis said, go to Leeds, because he played with them both at Wolfsburg. He was like, go to Leeds, it's all right there. And but they just came out of nowhere. There was no like paper talk. There was no people on the Twitter or whatever going, so and so's. Fabrizio Romano wasn't given the here we go. It just kind of happened. We haven't really spent a lot of money, which is just making me think that we're going to splash out big on Bamford's new contract. No, on hopefully a goalkeeper. But I'm not. I'm looking forward to it. I'm still looking forward to it. I'm not feeling down. If we get to the end of the transfer window and we ain't signed a goalkeeper and we ain't signed another centre mid, then I'll be going, fucking hell, lads, shit's going to hit the fan here. Going to see some shit here.
I honestly don't give any hope to Sunderland or Leeds, to be honest. The only one I give hope to is Burnley, because I think Scott Parker is an extremely good manager.
He's growing as a manager.
And I think he might just do it with Burnley, but it'll be bloody close. And that's no disrespect to Sunderland and Leeds. I just think that gap has become absolutely ridiculous now. That literally, I don't know how much money you have got to spend. You've got to do a Forest.
I agree with that. You've got to basically just got to say, hey, you're all going now. We're going to sign 23 new players, soz.
Yeah.
So I don't think. Well, sentiment gets you nowhere in football. I don't care what anyone says.
Well, do you think Ipswich just bought a Championship super team, knowing full well the chances are they're just coming straight back down?
Yeah.
100%. Because they were smart how they did it, weren't they? They did get all of the best players in the Championship.
Yeah, but you see that a lot of teams don't go up, don't you? But they buy like the best of the Championship, and it never works out for them. But what Forest did, they literally did sign 23 new players, a full squad.
Yeah.
Took a 2 points deduction, but it don't matter when you know you can just stay up.
Yeah.
And now the benefit, now they're playing European football next season, which just even hurts even more when you see another club which seems to have got out of League One and get back into the Premier League, and now they're playing the bloody Europe.
You'd be happy to play a pre-season game at this point, wouldn't you? Let alone in bloody Europe.
Oh, no, I'd be happy with Alfreton away.
Get me back to Alfred again.
We'll do them all. Ilkeston. Get it.
all the tons. You're playing bloody Huntington sports clubs before we know it.
Yeah.
God, it's 58 minutes in. I think we'll leave it there. I've got a funny quiz today.
I bet a bloody laugh.
You will laugh at the subject. So Chelsea have made 20 signings in the last 12 months.
Fucking hell, okay.
Spending a total of £455 million in 12 months. They have just recouped 100 of it, pretty much already. Game of categories, one at a time. I'll tell you something, there's players on this list I didn't even know they signed. Some of them they signed for quite a bit of money and all. So I'll tell you what, we'll go Ben, then Ross. Go on then, Ben.
So what we're doing, just naming the signings that they've bought in the last 12 months?
12 months starting from today, so it's 12 months from today. So the ones they've made in this summer count.
Liam Delap.
Yep. He's not been their latest signing, he's the third latest signing.
Third? Oh, of course. Yeah. João Pedro.
£60 million on him in total.
Wow. Absolutely mental. Estevao.
Yeah. Player I didn't even know they signed, but I found out when he scored the other night.
He was bought last year, wasn't he? But what isn't coming until the summer.
When I read some of these names out at the end, it's going to be like Paul Merson, mate, I'll tell you.
They signed that, was it like from Strasbourg or something? Mamadou Sarr.
Is there? I'll be lenient if you get it roughly on. I will.
Was it Toshin? Didn't they buy him in January?
Was that his
Toshin Amrabai or whatever his name is?
Yeah. He was a free transfer, mate.
The one who Chelsea fans thought it was. Well, it wasn't all Chelsea fans, was it? What's his name on TalkSport? Rory Jennings or whatever. Thought it was a young kid. He's 27, mate.
Yeah, but he also did say that Haaland wouldn't score more than 15 goals. So
Yeah.
So he stuck to EastEnders, mate.
as hot takes go, that is just
It's fucking boiling.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Is it my go?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Loans count as well, by the way.
Dario Oswego.
He's there. He's there. He's one of the ones I didn't even know who he was.
Didn't he score the other day?
£19 million. He cost them.
Bloody hellfire. Who else have they bought? There's so many of them, I keep forgetting. There must be a winger in there somewhere. They've got about 15 of them.
Yeah, there's a few.
I can't remember who they've bought. I'm getting mental block.
Have to push you.
Leslie Chukwut, whatever his name is. Was he in there? Or was he earlier than that?
He was earlier. I think, on this list. Yeah, earlier. Go on, Ross.
They signed a goalkeeper because they signed him and everyone was like, finally, goalkeeper, Chelsea. It's what they've been calling out for. I can't remember his bloody name. He
For
were
someone else then.
he were Belgian, I want to say. But I can't remember his name for the life of me. Didn't they sign some Argentinian guy he's like the lead singer of Pantera.
They've signed that many players, we can't see wood for trees, mate.
Who's the lead singer? Lead singer of Pantera is Phil Anselmo. It's something like A. Anselminio or something like that. Yeah. Is it like, it's not Anthony or Antonio or something?
It's Aaron.
Aaron's close fucking enough, innit?
Anselmino, yeah. Well
Who
done.
was the keeper? Philip Jurgensen.
No.
Yeah, he's on there.
Oh, is he on? Oh, fucking hell. That's not even the one I was thinking of.
So, you've won,
Mike,
Ross, you've won.
Mike Penders. Is Mike Penders on there?
Mike Penders is on there. 17.1 million.
17 million.
I mean, yeah, exactly. There's some of these players I've never even heard of. Is it like Mark? Is that Guiu?
Oh, he's the Barcelona one.
Barcelona one, yeah.
Caleb Wiley.
Never heard of him.
Renato Vega.
Yeah, because they've been trying to get rid of him or something.
Matthias Amugu.
Missed that
Omari Kellerman.
Yeah,
that one rings a bell.
You missed out Keenan Dewsbury Hall.
Oh, I thought when he started it, I thought of him and then I forgot about him again.
João Felix, mate.
Wow. Of course. Yeah.
Pedro Mata.
Yeah, a few run-outs in Belarus or wherever they went, didn't he, Felix?
Scored the other day in the Club World Cup.
Kendry Paez.
Apparently he's supposed to be mint.
Is he?
Yeah, they just call him Kendry, don't they?
Right. I mean, that was it. So
he's the regen of Kennedy. Do you remember him?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. He was at Chelsea. He had a loan at Newcastle, didn't he? He was all right.
Yeah.
Then he didn't want to sign for him permanently. I bet he would now.
I bet he does now.
That's about it, really. An hour and 5. I did watch yesterday. I took Kai to watch Jurassic World.
Does Scarlett Johansson turn into a dinosaur?
No, that was AI, but it probably would have made it a better film, to be honest. But
yeah, I was going to say I might go see it.
It was fun. I mean, I enjoyed watching Kai react. When raptors are creeping up to people, and he could see him pointing at the screen because he could and I thought that was good. But as a film, I hate it when people criticise something saying, "Oh, because someone's got plot armor." Oh, that's so convenient that's happened. Well, of course it happened. That's the plot. You can't get to A to B without something happening. But there's they have this even though they're on an island full of mutant failed experimented dinosaurs. The OG T-Rex is just there, obviously. Because you need to get him in.
Yeah, he's just the main man.
he's hunting this family of 4, and one of his little girls like under an inflatable dinghy, and he bites the dinghy, pulls it off, and then she's gone. And you think, oh no, she's dead, but she's not. She's under the water.
Bloody strong,
Plot
that
armor.
dinghy. His teeth didn't even go through it.
Yeah. And
That bloody plot armor again.
Yeah, I mean that is. I mean, no one knew the girl no one thought she was gonna die. I mean, that would have been a dark turn if she was T-Rex ate a fucking 5-year-old.
Have that, kids.
So T-Rex gets fed up. He walks off, but then as he walks off, he just because they go behind this big rock, and dinghy's behind rock, and they can't get through it because it's on a river, so they can't like get through the current to get it back. And as the T-Rex is buggering off, he boots the bloody dinghy over the wall for him. And I sat there going, "Oh, come on!" like the convenience and plot armor and like, but that was just taking the piss now.
So he leant over, whispered in his son's ear, "It's fucking bollocks, that guy."
I thought it was all right. I didn't hate the movie, but the kids really enjoyed it because obviously they're just going into it for their
Sea dinosaurs.
Sheer love of dinosaurs eating people. What more do they want? You know, absolutely loved it, and just being able to call out which dinosaurs they thought they were.
Yeah. And I watched Ballerina this week.
Angelina.
Must admit, I really enjoyed it, but all it's made me do is want to watch John Wick. So I watched, before we started recording today, I was watching John Wick 2. John Wick 2 for me is the best out of the franchise.
I ain't seen the 4th one, but John Wick 2 is...
Yeah, it expands the lore of the Continental and their assassin-like world. And
the Continental was good. I enjoyed that as well.
I never watched that.
I never watched that.
I'm going to pick it up, actually. I think I'm going to pick it up.
Mel Gibson in it?
I think he is.
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember exactly who was in it, but I remember it being very good.
Yeah. Right, we'll leave it at that. Have you, unless you've watched anything interesting this week, Ross?
I watched a film with nothing interesting, mate. It's not worth it.
The only thing I've watched is constantly refreshing Twitter to find out what else is happening in the world of Hull City, and then that just being swamped by it could be worse. We could be Sheffield Wednesday fans.
Yeah.
That's been my week.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
The title of the video. It could be worse. Could be Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah. Could be worse.